All right, so it is Tuesday morning. You guys know that we were supposed to be doing the wheel bearings. They finally came. This truck I'm just waiting on parts for, so I will be getting this one done today as well. But we got a nice set of Detroit axle wheel bearings, and I had a few of you guys comment and tell me that these things are actually pretty decent. So we're gonna get these thrown on. Like I said, I got two brand new ones because anytime I replace something on one side, it's getting done on the other, no matter what it is. So we're gonna do that. And yeah, we'll get all this surface area cleaned out. You can see there is anti-seize in there, and I'm gonna tell you guys what, that made a massive difference. And yes, I'm wearing some mittens because it is fucking cold up here in Pennsylvania. But the anti-seize made a big difference. This wheel bearing, generally what I do is I put a bolt in halfway, just a couple of threads, and then turn the wheel against it. This one, obviously it was bad, so all I had to do was just smack it out with a hammer. And then this one over here on the other side, once I loosened the bolts, I just pulled this one out, so it's like everything was good. I mean, not pulled it out, like there was still tension in there, but like, you get what I mean. Little tappy tap with that guy, but they came out pretty decent. So I'm gonna get that all cleaned up, and we're gonna put anti-seize on the hub. I recommend it. I know someone will bitch, oh, you shouldn't do that and this and that. It's like, we live in the north, you need to do it. All right, so these are what we got. We're gonna get these fuckers slapped on. I don't think we're gonna really do much time lapses in this video like I normally do. Just gonna put them on, and this front end's on jack stands. So what I do is I'll turn the wheel one way, tighten the back two bolts on this side, tighten the front two bolts on the other side, flip it around, then I'll tighten the front bolts on this side and the back bolts on the other side. Makes my life so much easier. Just turn the wheel. Still haven't bled the brakes. My wife's gonna be coming here probably around noon today, and we're gonna quick slap these out, get these wheels cleaned up, and throw them back on. And then we have a running and driving Bertha, and we are ready to go down. Gotta take a customer stuff down to Florida. And then we're probably going to be working on that white truck when we get down there, because it decided the turbo actuator, I told you guys that was a problem on that truck. Every time he goes to accelerate from like a low RPM or a dead stop, the turbo vanes, it puts it too small. I told him he'd need one eventually, and I mean, as long as he's cruising, it's not a problem, but once the RPMs are under like 1300, it'll kind of like stutter, and that's because the vanes are too small and it's creating too much back pressure, and then it catches. So we're gonna swap out that while we're down there, but we got work. We have a ton of work lined up. I gotta go to Maryland probably tomorrow to go grab another truck that's coming in here, but that one won't be done until after. I just need to do some diag on it, but we've been getting busy. If you guys have stuff, I'm scheduling about 2 weeks out. All right, so it's been about 15 minutes. We got everything wheel bearing wise on. I just got to put the cotter pin. They're both up here. I didn't do it exactly the way I said I was going to do it. I just did one side and then the other. It's not that hard to turn the wheel. I always do this anymore. I've seen too many failure points where this rubs up. You can see when I initially put this on here, I did bend this back a little bit, but I always put a zip tie around here to keep this from touching the rotor, because I've seen too many people install these and you know, rip them off. Also, Bertha has a parasitic draw somewhere. Like, truck's down to 9 volts, so I gotta find that. And I'm telling you guys, Dodges, all right? For all you guys saying, oh, Dodges have transmission problems, you guys don't even look at the biggest picture. The transmission problems aren't even fucking anything close to something you should be worried about. It's the damn electrical issues, because anybody can fix a transmission, not just anybody can fix electrical problems. So I'm going to be going through here, and what I'm going to do, I don't even know if I'm going to do a video on it, to be honest, because it's one of those things where it's like not a lot of people can follow that, but parasitic draw testing, I think I might go through and do that. I don't know what's causing it. It's not fast, but I mean, I think the truck's been sitting for what, a week now, and the battery voltage has already dropped. I mean, maybe I just have dead batteries, but who knows? So I might do that. But yeah, you guys complaining about any of the little problems that Dodges have, it's like, and I don't even think they have tranny problems. I just think they have bad torque converters and valve bodies. But electrical problems, if you guys are serious about these things, electrical problems on the 06 to 09 trucks are fucking astronomical. It doesn't matter how many times you fix an electrical problem, there's always going to be another one. The key is to get it to go as long as possible on that, you know, after you fix that electrical problem. But that's where we're at. What I'm going to do, since I guess I do have the Honda, so I could probably jump it off of that. Last time I jumped it off the welder. But what we're going to do, finish this out. I'm going to get this caliper on since the wheel's already turned this way. Turn it the other way, do the other caliper. And then when my wife gets here, we can bleed the brakes. All right, that's what she should look like. All done on this side. Ran the wire up through where it's supposed to be, all the way up, and it is plugged in. And there's a little clip right there that goes into the side of the frame. So now we're going to turn the wheel the other way so we can get to the caliper bracket bolts. You can see how the caliper bracket bolts are that way. So turn the wheel, and then throw the little zip tie on there. You can see there's a little channel for it. It's just something I recommend. It doesn't matter. Like, you think you're good, and then you go down the road and it cuts. I've seen it happen. I've diagnosed and repaired quite a few vehicles. I've actually diagnosed and repaired vehicles that customers have fixed themselves, and they're like, I keep getting this ABS light, and I look and it's like, it's right there. And I mean, the ABS sensors are cheap, but do you really want to deal with that? All right, so I've sat and thought long and hard about where I'm going to mount stuff. You guys see these nice little flat sections here? So still waiting on parts on that other truck. I got a hole saw here, and we have the block heater thing. Now, granted, I rarely use the block heater, but if you don't at least have it plugged in, the problem is, I don't know if you guys will be able to see down in there. You guys see down in there? The problem is, when you drive through ice and salt and snow and shit, that's gonna get gunked up, and then when you do want it, or say I wanted to resell this truck, not that I'm ever gonna do that, but you get the point, that will not plug in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this mounted on the side of the bumper, and probably find a new spot for my Andersons as well. But we're gonna put that right there. And then my Andersons, I thought about putting on the bumper, but being that I need them back here, it kind of makes it tricky. So I thought about running them off of the welder as well. But then I also thought about it, and I'm like, I use the truck to jump people's shit enough that it just, I need to put them somewhere, but I'd like to move them like back somewhere else. So I want to put them as far back on the frame as possible. So we'll see, but I definitely want to put the Andersons back on. Also, these batteries, 9 of 22. So I think these were replaced just before I bought this truck. I don't know. All right, so I threw my whole saw away because the fucking two, they sucked. Let's just put it that way. So I threw those away. I'm going to buy new ones, but I got it drilled out, and it's chilling in here. We got 4 self-tappers in it, and I am working on looming everything. Now, if you guys bring me stuff to work on that's wiring-wise, I do have zip ties that are basically, they make things a lot nicer, and I can physically like make wiring jobs super nice, like something like this. This is going to be nice and loomed. We're going to run it through the engine bay. I got to figure out where and how I want to run it. So, slowly getting there. Just got to figure out where the next piece is going to go. And then I cut off a little piece. Yeah, that came off, so now it doesn't look so ugly. I'm going to do more loom down the road, but I got to figure out where I would like to run this. Probably go up through, but I'm not 100% sure yet. Might just go here, but that might make the line too long, so we'll probably go up and over, to be honest. I'll let you guys know how it turns out. Alright, so there we have it. Have it run nice. Obviously I had to run it back. I brought it up here. It's got a nice little thing in, and just so we could take up some slack, but some dingleberry, I guess when they did the oil cooler, decided to put that bolt right there instead of there. So I can't put this where it belongs without taking that bolt out, which means I have to take the AC compressor, and it's just not worth it to me. So it's going up where it needs to. You guys can see right there. So that's done. If we ever do the oil cooler, that bolt will 100% get moved, unless I want to extend the harness, which I do not want to do. Get all that stuff cleaned up. Like I said, I want to get all this done, and then we're going to come back in here and pull this bumper off. I'd like to make an attachment point where like maybe put a plug like right here. Something high amp, of course, that way I can unplug everything. Same thing with these lights. I can unplug these at the factory location right there, and then this whole bumper comes off because I want to make a second piece that goes back in there and then mount these together. So just make it a lot stronger than what it is now, so if I ever do hit a deer, I'm not just relying on these motor mounts. Also, still waiting on pots. Now the transmission lines, the fitting adapters won't be until tomorrow, so that truck's not going to be done till tomorrow anyway. But I want to get 99% of that done today as well. So now that that's done, now I got to figure out the Anderson cables. All right, so I got it figured out where I'm going to put it. I tried everything on there. I said, fuck it, we're just going to go here. So I got bolts for the battery terminals. Yes, it jiggles a little bit. It is what it is. And then this goes right here. So easy to access, goes off of the welder. Keep in mind, most times that I use this is when I need to hook to a trailer. So what I do is I fire up the generator and I hook it to the trailer. What's that? Dirt? Dirt. So I got the Honda over here. We are letting Bertha charge, waiting on my wife, probably be another hour. I'm still waiting on parts for that silver truck, and it is 11:38. They were supposed to be here in the morning. So, go Honda, chugging away. There we go. All right, she's done. Right arm is tired from torquing every one of them, 140 foot-pounds. So, new wheel bearings, new rear brakes, wire harness up there. We got this guy over here. We're gonna vacuum this out in a little bit. But now, if I wanna plug my truck in, just come over here, do that, and there you go. Nice and sleek, you don't even notice it. Hidden in the bumper, because initially I was gonna put it here. And then I realized, I'm like, wait a second, I got those little pockets. And I thought about here first, but that extra foot right there is gonna be nice because extension cords are only so long, if for some reason I use it. But it's mainly just there for show. It works if I need it, but. And then this guy, we'll see if the welder works when I pull this thing out, but we get to work on this thing next. So you guys will see another separate video on that. I've already started filming it. So I'm gonna go separate the clips, and then we're gonna get to working on this thing because we got all the parts in. I think we got a Dorman cooler, ATF plus 4, and a filter kit for the transmission. And we're gonna be doing the bands as well. All right, so Bertha is 100% done. We got everything is good to go. We have a truck. We have a running truck. So headed to Florida Friday. Got customer shit to take down. We got mobile jobs in Florida that I need to get done. We got 2 of those. So realistically, we're good. The fittings will be here in a few hours, so we'll be able to finish this up. I left out the tools that I need. We literally just need a 13, 11, a 10, this ratchet, and 22/7/8. These are the same exact ratchet, just one's 7/8, one's 22. They're just labeled different. So that way we can put these lines back on. And then he's got a funnel, so we're gonna fill this thing up with tranny fluid and drive it out, take it up to the wash, get his bill already, and then get him out of here. So yeah, but that's for that video. You guys will see that completely separate video. So I have a couple of things. We're literally just so close. All we need yet is doors, a tailgate, and probably when I get back, I'm gonna order these 2 gauges. And I've already got the bezel and everything, so the radio stuff will be done. Now, I changed my mind. I know I did. I have that doubled in radio in there, but I got that one for free because I bought a truck. So what I'm actually doing, the Honda. This radio right here that I bought, it's a Pioneer. It has a built-in amplifier for all the speakers, 50 watt RMS amplifier on each one of them corners. So I'm going to be ordering 2 more of those, one for the Dakota and one for this truck. I've already ordered the wire harness and everything that goes with this. So this will be getting pulled out, and it basically covers in these holes here and this and that. So all that will be taken care of, new radio, and then it'll just be a single din. I like the single dins personally. We got our blankets, all this stuff back here. I just got to grab my cooler and some other things, but that's where we're at. Bertha be done, and I went back and forth. If you guys don't follow him, Dark Iron Diesel, he's been doing a ton of delete videos and just cool stuff with these diesel trucks. But he personally had this kit, and I'm trying to see if it's worth it to me. The general consensus, I was asking him about the valve springs and this and that, but we're thinking about, I'm gonna put this picture on the screen, that turbo setup. I like the VGTs. The guys who say they're problematic, they're not. You just need to learn how to maintain them and use them properly. So we're thinking about doing that, and I talked to him about the valve springs, and he wasn't sure 100%, but I know that he did the valve springs because of the rev limit is what he told me. General consensus, you need to do at least exhaust valve springs to run an exhaust brake on a 5.9. I think that these trucks came with a factory exhaust brake. The 06, 07 ones did, but they had upgraded valve springs in the exhaust from the factory. So I'm just going to order those at some point. But I know I said we weren't going to do it. I'm probably going to do it. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but it's $2,700 for all that, plus the $400 for the valve springs and the tool. So it's probably going to be about $3,000. And then Bertha will be VGT. And since no one's been able to find one for me, I am probably just going to go ahead and buy the tailpipe, but we're going to just come right out the back unless we find a sponsor for a new exhaust. But this exhaust is like 7 years old, I believe. Original 5-inch downpipe, and then back to, I think this was a Diamond Eye kit as well. So LM Diesel just did a very good comparison of a 4 and a 5-inch exhaust on a compound setup, and I have mine on a stock exhaust setup. So go check out both those guys. Awesome people, good videos. Go check them out. Dark Iron also has a dyno, so he's been doing dyno runs and pulling horsepower numbers off these trucks. So you guys that are like, oh, my Power Stroke makes that factory and this and that, and it's like, that dyno's hurting some feelings. So go check him out. Check him out on TikTok too. Check out LM Diesel, because he did a really good comparison video. I actually commented on it. Unless someone sends me an exhaust, I'm just going to buy a tailpipe and keep running this exhaust, because Diamond Eye made a really good system, and this system has like 6 or 7 years on it now. I've had this exhaust on my original 06. I moved it to my 04, and then after we did the 12 valve swap, I kept it, and then now that I have this truck, I kept it as well. So it's come apart in pieces a few times and thrown right back on. Great system, haven't had any issues from it, and yeah, just a little bit out the back. I don't care about the soot. I know people are going to complain that, you get soot on the trailers. It's like, it is what it is. Coming out the back, and then we just need to get this tailgate, some doors, and then Bertha is done.